So hi everybody, I'm back again. Other view of my porch. How are we doing? Yeah, me too. Yeah. 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years? How long has it been? So I thought today, first of all, I want to show off my new rug on my back porch. I love it. It's only going to stay this way for like 1 day. So enjoy the beauty of it now. But I thought we'd do a grounded class starting on our back, which I traditionally start with, right? In constructive rest posture. Good way to just sort of find where we're at in our body, right? Again, try to tap into that place inside that still says it's okay. Everything's going to be okay. It doesn't feel okay. But there's something in there that still knows, you know what, we're going to ride this out and it's going to be okay. And we're going to end up on a new land, a new island somewhere together. But you know what, we're all doing it together. There's something very comforting about that. We're all in this together. And I just love that idea. I'm holding on to that, and that something big is going to come of this. So if you have blocks, great. If not, you don't have to have them. I'm going to cue them, especially between the thighs. We're going to activate, right, that psoas line that starts deep in the thighs. It actually does, right, that energetic line. I know they're different muscle names. We're not going to get wrapped up over it. I call it the lower psoas line and the upper one. The upper one ends up the mastery process. The lower one ends right here, right deep past the adductors and the inner thigh. So without further ado, let's go ahead before my video runs out, which it probably will. So we'll just do a part 2 when it happens. Let's start off on our back. Let's go ahead and find our hands to our belly. Keep your block nearby. Either eyes softly open. Of course, we call that drishti in yoga, that soft focus. Or closed, whatever's more comfortable. If you tend to disassociate, if you tend to check out in your mind easily, I encourage eyes open. That's what I've learned to do because I can check out pretty fast in my mind. And then let's find our breath. So bringing hands to belly, wherever is comfortable. Let's just notice what's happening there. As we find a relaxed inhale and exhale, let's notice where our body's touching the earth, the floor, our mat, the shoulders, the hips. Let's notice the quality of the breath. Not worried about the quantity of the breath or trying to manipulate the breath, just noticing it tends to even it out a little bit, smooth it out. And as we find an even breath, we'll just start to count. As we inhale, we'll inhale for a count of 4. Inhaling to 4. At the top, maybe pausing for a count of 4. If that's too long, go shorter. And then let's exhale for 6. And this is your own count, of course. And then we'll pause at the end of the 6 for 2. So it's inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and pause. Inhaling for a count of 4. And ready to pause for a count of 2 to 4. Exhaling for a count of 6. Letting the exhale drop deep into the pit of the belly. And then pausing again. So just continue to find that breath practice. It might be helpful. We call this box breathing, even though this is not going to be a perfect box, obviously. As you inhale, you draw up one side of the box. As you pause, you imagine drawing the top of the box. And as you exhale, you find that long other side of the box. And then we pause at the bottom, drawing the box. One more time. This turns on a very important system in the body, right? That's our parasympathetic nervous system. And the minute we lengthen the exhale, longer than the inhale, that system turns on. That is a smarter system. That's smarter than our minds. Again, it knows a different way. It knows a new way in our lives. And then just let the breath go. Let it be easy and free. Maybe go ahead and move the arms out to the side at the body. Finding the feet, maybe lift the toes up, squint the toes up, maybe lift the heels, press to the soles of the feet. Maybe open the legs a little bit, feel the outer feet. And then turn, come a little knock knee, so a little across the feet. And again, awakening to the proprioceptors there. And then just bringing the hands up. Let's go ahead and do that proprioception here to it. Wiggle the fingers. Roll the wrists around. Yes. And then take the palms of the hands and find the hip bones. And we're just going to slide them across as we gently press the tops of the thighs away, as we press the mat away with the feet. You might feel this slight elevation, this hovering feeling through the hips. That's good. How light can we make the hips feel here? Finding space across the hip bones. And then releasing, so we want to keep that sense of space across the hip flexors. Anytime we tense or tighten the hip flexors, we actually can move into that sympathetic response, those old patterns of defense. We're trying to stay out of that. Taking the block, if you can, between the thighs. If not, just imagine a block between the thighs. We're going to start by pressing into the mat again, pressing the tops of the thighs away once we get that sensation. Then we're going to just rock over, pulling the tailbone into the air. Feel the sacrum lift off the mat, the low back gently presses. And then we're going to rock back over. Pressing the tailbone, arcing the low belly up to the ceiling, breathing it open. And again, one more time, rocking heavy across the sacrum, drawing the tails. If you had an animal tail, we're drawing it into the body. And then again, rocking back over to the tailbone, breathing the low belly, the low back, nice and long and open. And then find that neutral feeling across the sacrum. Pressing into the feet, so feel that heavy feeling through the feet. Really ground it, that deep root system, growing the roots of the feet through the mat. We're going to slowly start to lift the hips up into the air, coming into our neutral bridge. Now, watch the shoulders, the neck. We want to keep the neck gently curved away. Try to follow my instructions instead of looking at the video here so we don't turn our head. And again, let's find a nice deep breath. First of all, we want to think about breathing the front of the thighs nice and long, so that's the inhale. On the exhale, think about trying to press the block down a little bit. Finding that awareness again. Inhaling, breathing the front of the thighs nice and long. Exhaling, finding that strength through the legs as we feel the hip bones hug together. One more time, nice big breath, breathing the sides of the belly nice and open. So no clenching the belly here. Exhaling, finding even stronger legs. One more big inhale. On the exhale, we're going to slowly lower the spine, shifting awareness on either side of the spine. Right, that canal system there that supports the spine energetically, let's find that. And then that beautiful lunar touch down through the hips. And now we're going to flow with the breath. Inhaling, breathing the hips high. Don't forget to press the block down. Exhaling, slowly lowering down. Feel the spine lay down like a ribbon to the mat. So less rigidity through the spine, more fluidity, right? Finding that creative flow through the spine. When you're ready, inhaling. Now we're going to add that 4-4-6-2 count breath. If we can, so the next time, not right now, but the next time that we start to lift up, that's what we're going to do. So it will be an inhale, 4 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to pause. Maybe you can feel the chest lift a little more as we hold the breath for 4. And then it's a really long exhale for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a pause for 2 at the bottom. And continue. Inhaling for a count of 4 or your own pattern here that feels good. Remember, we just want to get that exhale slightly longer, adding in those slight pauses of the breath, the holds of the breath. But if we feel gaspy for breath afterwards, if we're starting to feel a little agitated in the mind, the shoulders start to pull in, then we don't want to hold as long. So again, we're just learning to move with the breath. We're training ourselves to follow the lead of the breath. We are training our parasympathetic nervous system, right? We don't have to train our sympathetic. It is naturally strong. Finding that parasympathetic awareness. Using the belly, right? Let the belly lead the way. And so one more time, the next time that we come down, we're going to go ahead and set the hips heavy to the mat. And then we're going to lift the knees up, still activating through the inner thighs. So we're activating that deep psoas line that runs from tip to tail, comes from the reptile era, right? It is where we mobilize for defense, but we want to learn to activate it from parasympathetic. And yes, you can be in both, and we really want to be in both here. So we're going to take our hands to our thighs one more time. Press hands to thighs, thighs to hand, press feet into imaginary wall. Press the block away. So feel that stabilization through the legs, and then the arms come out to the side. So softly, palms up, thumbs soft. Weighted feeling through the palms and the shoulders. We're going to rock over to the right, slowly keeping the feet, the knees, same distance together, or I should say parallel, the same distance. Inhaling, coming back through center reset, maybe fan the toes. Exhaling, rocking over to the left, so belly twisting, right rib cage stays relaxed. You can even turn your head to the right if you feel your neck tensing. Inhaling, rocking back through center, heavy across the sacrum. Exhaling, tick-tocking to the other side. It doesn't matter how far you go. Continue to flow here at your own pace. The trick here is to feel heavy across the sacrum, relaxed across the shoulders and the neck. So we want that relaxed feeling. If you feel the shoulders starting to pull in or the thumbs tensing, we've gone too far. If your feet start to come together, right? Or the knees start to slide apart from one another, we're going too far. So again, we're trying to activate that sympathetic nervous system of strength but remaining in this calm, aware place. One more time each side. Of course, you can always rest, noticing what's happening here, constantly scanning for any signs of tension patterns, especially in the front of the shoulders and the jaws. I can feel mine kind of tensing now. And then we're going to go ahead and release. Let's move the block to the side. Bring the soles of the feet together. Bringing the hands to the thighs one more time. So butterfly pose. We're going to press into the top of the right thigh gently. So we want to experience a sense of awareness. Notice that through the right hip. It's a different experience there. And then coming over to the left gently. Nice deep breath into the belly. And then now pressing both thighs away. Again, breathing space and awareness into the hips. There's a lot of awareness there. The body talks to us in a different language. It's an intelligent language, but it's one that we're not used to. So we want to find that awareness as a form of intelligence through our hips. And we want to listen to it. And then let's release. We're going to go ahead and bring our feet mat width apart. So mat width, wide. Outer feet lift up. And let's go ahead and come a little knock knees, arms out to the side. Kind of move the blocks out of the way. We don't need them just right now. Clear the neck. And we're just going to windshield wipe our knees right and left, slowly. I want us to really notice what's happening to the feet. Give more awareness to the feet, right? More sensation as the feet come across. And then as the inner thighs drop side to side, let's see if we can stay really relaxed there, right? Instead of controlling that movement, see if we can just relax it. Notice what happens, right? So it's like a crashing wave going side to side. Deep breath into the belly. Nice. And then release. Let's go ahead and hug our right knee into our chest. Point, flex the right foot, right ankle around, and then slow hip circles around the right side. Kind of testing those waters there. Hugging the right knee in, we're going to curl up. This is optional. You can just hug the knee, of course. Jaw stays relaxed. Options to extend the left leg. Maybe kind of point or flex the foot. Just active energy through the inner left thigh. But again, staying long through the inner left thigh. And then inhale, folding the arms overhead. Stretching the heels long. You could also do this with the knees bent. I'm going to give you a little different cue of awareness here. We're going to hug the left knee in. Again, pause, maybe roll the ankle around, point, flex, hip circle for a second, and then we'll continue our flows and exhale. Instead of focusing on the limbs, finding this movement. And now we're just flowing with the breath. Inhaling, feeling the whole body stretch long, especially the back side. When the exhale starts, then we hug the right knee in, feeling the spine curl in like a caterpillar. Right? And I cued that in the first video for a reason. Inhale, feel the spine unfurl. The limbs follow the spine's movement. So as we continue to flow, find your own breath pattern, your own gentle flow here. Remember, the limbs grew out of the spine. But so often we lead with our limbs. And the limbs are primarily sympathetic nervous system material. And we need them, right? We need to take action in our daily lives, especially now. But we don't want them to lead the way unconsciously. And when we move in that unconscious pre-programmed movement to the limbs, and it's not connected into our gut, then we're just, reinforcing and following through those old autopilot movement patterns and behavior. We can't find a new way that way. So here we're learning to move from the gut. And again, the hack is let the breath come first. Tap into that powerful parasympathetic nervous system. It is powerful. It's much more powerful than the sympathetic, believe it or not. And it's a sustainable system. You're sympathetic, you're going to burn out eventually, right? We don't want that. I found myself getting there the last couple of weeks. I had to learn to take it down a notch. Breathe more, meditate more. Find this new path. And then release, and we're going to find both these hugging into the chest. Allow the low back to melt into the mat. Inhale, breathing the tailbone long. One big exhale, hug the knees more, shoulders relax, feel the back into the mat. And then we're going to roll over to all fours. I'm glad to see my video is still working. That's always a little bit of a miracle, right? So hands nice and wide into the mat. If you can, right, starfish hands into the mat. Really find the webbing, the knuckles of the hands, grounding. If you can't, you can always do fist for wrist, of course. Rocking side to side. So one of my favorite things to do is sway side to side, making sure that I'm not moving too rigidly in my practice. And then pausing through center. Exhaling, let's find cat. We'll draw our imaginary animal tail into the body, press out of the shoulders, but make sure the head is nice and relaxed. Inhale, breathing the heart forward. Again, head can move like a turtle here, shoulders relax down the back. Exhaling, flowing into our cat, using your breath. If you know what Ujjayi breath is, that's our vagus nerve breath. Let's find that. Right? It's imagining that we're breathing through two straws stuck up our nose. Not that we would do that. Or through the hole at the base of our throat, so it's an audible breath. Hopefully you can hear that. I'm really exaggerating my ujjayi breath. And then let's pause through center. Again, check in, neck, shoulders nice and relaxed. We're going to inhale, extend the limbs opposite each other. Right arm, left leg, pulls long. Thumb stays soft, even shaking your hand out. Drawing the inner left thigh nice and long. You can even feel your limbs kind of move through the midline of the body almost. Right shoulder still feels connected into the spine, as does the left hip. Exhale, let's float, maybe finding cat. Coming back through center. Inhale, switching sides. Then pulling nice and long, imagining that string attached from the left shoulder to the right hip. Exhaling through center. So continue to flow. Again, finding that slower breath pace. It might feel uncomfortable at first. Slow, strong movements are what we're after. Put the breath first. That's the simple recipe. That's going to get us to that new way of being. That calm place again in our lives where we see lots of ability to choose different paths. Those options remain open, not those pre-programmed autopilot behaviors. We just keep doing the same thing. I think the world has made that clear that we can't do that anymore. The old way is just not going to work. We all are finding a new way here. And then let's go ahead and pause. Right arm and left limb extend. Again, pulling nice and long. On the exhale, we're just going to tap elbow to knee, staying lifted out of the left shoulder. You don't have to get them all the way together, of course. What we want to find is more smooth movement here. Again, ujjayi breath, really powerful breath here. Finding that calm, strength way of moving. One more time. Inhaling now. We're going to have an option to bend the left knee, flex the foot point, flex, make sure it's active. Reach the right hand around. You can pretend to find the heel. Right? Finding it, imagining you're feeling your heel, or actually finding your ankle or your foot. Draw the heel into the body. Again, staying lifted out of the left shoulder. Neck stays relaxed. Final option, press foot to hand. Hand to foot, just gently opening up. Maybe that hammock-like feeling through the back. One more big breath. And then we're going to release and switch sides. You can always find child's pose in between. We will find it after this side, though. But anytime you need to. Left arm, right leg. Again, pulling nice and long. Lifting out of the shoulders, setting the posture up, shake the left hand out, and then slowly flowing. Back to the spine. Back to feeling the spine move you. You know, the spine is incredibly intelligent. It has its own way of moving and being. When we leave it alone, it wants to find those new ways. So notice it. Instead of moving rigidly in the spine, we can move softer through the spine. It doesn't lose strength. In fact, it gains strength by finding that flexibility, right? And that way, any way you move it, it's going to be able to find it easy, not rigid. One more time. Inhale, extending the limbs long. We're going to bend the right leg, reaching back, pretending to find the left foot, flex the foot, point it, maybe finding it. Drawing long out of the right hip as we lift out of the shoulder. Nice and calm. Option, press foot to hand, hand to foot. Ujjayi breath is very helpful. And releasing, I promise, child's pose. Let's find it, but with the block. If you don't have a block, it's okay. If you can bring stack your hands. I like the block on the edge. Because what you can do is you can rock across this line from temple to temple. And so that's a very important fascial line through the back body, right? And notice how good it feels. Just really heavy across the forehead, softly side to side. Again, noticing those patterns of tension. And that connects to that big back line. It's like a ribbon being pulled too tight around the present. I'm not sure if I said that in the last video, but it's an important thing to become aware of. And that's what happens when we get stressed. We move into that fetal posture a little bit, and that back line gets pulled long and tight. This is a way to release it a little bit, plus it just feels good, right? Pausing, heavy through the legs, deep breath. Remember, this is home base. We can come back there anytime. Use it as your reset. I've been resetting my computer a lot these days. Working online a lot, so we all need to have a reset button. Child's pose is it. Come back here as often. When we're ready, we're going to slowly come on up. Again, if you have two blocks, it might be useful to have that. Right foot is going to come forward, coming into our kneeling lunge. And you feel free to pad. This carpet is actually really nice. My patio would be really hard right now. Top of the foot takes the weight out of the knee. Check in here. We're going to go ahead and take the left arm slowly up, breathing this whole inner left thigh up to the left side nice and long. Maybe a little bit of lateral flexion. But let's find that awareness deep into the spine here. Option, take the right hand to the left wrist, relax the left arm, and then pulling. But using predominantly that deep breath. We're going to find the real psoas, the actual muscle, right next to the spine. You know, it's not a muscle. Liz Cook, she's pretty amazing. She's been studying this for a long time. And she says it's biointelligent emotional material. And that's a pretty powerful statement. It's very different than the other, quote, muscles of the body. And so just notice, there's an awareness there. Different kind of intelligence. And then slowly we'll take it into a twist, either left elbow across, left hand to the block, or right hand to the thigh. You guys know your choices. I like choices. Let's see if we can breathe this twist instead of forcing it. Inhaling, breathe the spine long. Exhaling, gently raining it out. Neck stays relaxed. Inhaling, again finding a nice long spine. Exhale, deep into the spine. Let the breath flow like water into the spine to rain it out. One more nice big breath. Exhaling. Slowly coming forward. We're just going to go ahead and lift the back leg up, coming into our crescent lunge right away. Now, you don't have to. You can always keep that back knee down. That's always a choice. So let's pause here, making sure that we're on railroad tracks and not on the tightrope. We're going to take the left arm, same thing. We're going to bring that up, bringing the right hand to the right wrist. Maybe straightening through the front leg, a little bit of a balance challenge. Relax the left arm. Feel the spine pull long, even the strength through both legs. Keeping that length, then rebend the right knee, back leg super strong and straight, and then maybe again a little bit of lateral flexion here. Notice the chest, the shoulders, everything stays soft and lifted. So beautiful to see the springtime coming. If there's anything I'm really grateful for is that we're going into this quarantine in the spring and not the winter. Right? Just think through that, a little bit of gratitude that we can enjoy the outdoors still. Exhale when we're ready, taking our twist. Remember choices. Hand to the block, to the thigh. You can bring elbow across, of course. Making sure that we're staying strong and grounded through that back leg. Find both feet, that scissoring feeling through the thighs. Using your breath to gently bring the spine out. And then we're going to slowly feel the spine move back through center. Really pay attention to those transitions as opposed to the final destination. Shift more into that. You know, it's how we get somewhere. And so instead of like that final motion or that final static posture, that's not where the benefit of the gain is made. That new creative way is how we get there. So from calm strength, that new way, let's step back with the right foot to a gentle downward dog. You can always choose extended child's pose as your choice. You can also bring your forearms down. We're just going to slowly pedal this up. Nice and slow. Feeling that diagonal, like we're stretching carpet on the diagonal feeling. So getting both arms involved, alternating that movement, using the breath to stay calm and centered. And then inhale, let's go ahead and bring our knees down, coming to our kneeling plank. Option to flow. Cat-cow is a great option, by the way. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhaling gently into our cobra. Top of the feet pressed, draw the tail in. Again, neck, shoulders, everything stays relaxed here. Exhaling, heavy to the ground. Draw the low belly and press the knees, pressing strong through the hands, coming up to our kneeling plank, into extended child's pose. Coming forward, left foot comes forward. We're just going to switch sides. So again, option to find a block here. Making sure that the left foot feels super grounded. Yeah, so finding that deep root system. We have root systems just like trees do, right? Emotional root systems. Those are more important than ever, even though we're separated. We're not, right? I'm sitting here, I'm able to talk to you. Hopefully this actually works out, right? So left hand roots down, right arm floats into the air. I find a lot of people kind of pull the right arm in this neck tense. Don't worry about how straight the arm is, just relaxing the right shoulder. Maybe even rotate pinky side of the right hand back. Taking the left hand, find the right wrist. And again, from the inner right thigh, up through the right side of the body. So find that awareness between the right hip bone and the right rib cage. Using the breath, right? Breathing from the deep side of the belly, from the spine outward. Exhale. Feel that inflammation flow back into the belly, into the spine. So we're creating space through the side body. Breathing the right side of your shirt That side seam nice and open. Another big breath here. Exhaling, bringing the right arm across, maybe taking a gentle twist here. You can bring elbow across, bottom hand. I usually prefer mine into a fist just so I don't hurt my wrists. Again, instead of forcing this, I know a lot of people use their arm strength to really rink into their mid-back. Not so great. So instead of doing that, trust the breath to find a different twist. Inhale, breathing the tail to the top of the head long. Exhaling, the spine will release naturally. One more time, inhaling. Exhaling. I lied one more time, inhaling and exhaling. And again, remember, transition mindfully back through center. Let's go ahead and tuck the back toes, lift the back leg. Option is to keep it down. Again, just find that even strength in both legs. Let's just come up halfway for just a second. Find the right hand to the inner right thigh. We're just going to spiral it back. At the same time, try to scissor the legs. So again, that calm strength. You can bounce on here, right, and still feel steady. That's important. So we're not holding this from up here. We're getting down into our legs more. Right arm optional, floats into the air for lateral flexion. Option, take the left hand to the right wrist, maybe straighten through the front leg. Again, challenging our balance. Still finding that even strength, that pyramid feeling through both legs. Chest, heart stays open. As we keep it open, then we scissor the legs. Can you put more into the back leg? Nice big breath, maybe lateral flexion. Again, finding the whole right side nice and open. And then slowly release into some kind of twist. So either elbow across. It's fun that I get to look at the video now. It's actually working. Yay. I hope it is. Jaw stays relaxed. As we twist, inhaling, exhaling. One more time, inhaling and exhaling. Same thing, hands are going to slowly find the earth. Left foot back to the right to our downward dog. Right away, we're going to flow. Inhaling to our plank. Your choice, knees up or down. I'm going to always bring my knees down. Exhaling, chaturanga, elbows hug in. Inhale. Find that deep floor, pelvic floor, low belly. Finds this lift. Just like a baby learns to lift its body, right? But the head stays nice and relaxed. Exhaling, everything to the earth, heavy. Hug the arms into the body, especially the inner part of the hands and the triceps. Scoop the belly, one big breath. Inhale, back to downward facing dog. Exhale, heels heavy. Breathing the hips really long here. Keep the knees bent and buoyancy. I like to bounce a little bit, making sure I'm not too tense here, side to side. And then rocking, just like we did on our knees. And by the way, you can be on your knees here. And then we're just going to stay. Left leg is going to be heavier. Unweight the right, roll the ankle around, point flex the foot, wiggle the little toesies, and then we're going to imagine pushing something really heavy up to the ceiling with the right foot. That scorpion dog that we did before. We're going to find that again, practicing that. Exhale, coming forward, suspended runner's lunge. Now we're pushing that gas pedal to sympathetic. How calm can you be here, right? And then slowly back with the right leg. Again, pushing something heavy, maybe straightening the right leg here. Breathing the right hip crease nice and long. Exhale, one more time right through center. Let's go ahead and bring the right foot between hands. Left foot's going to turn parallel right away. So this time, turning the hips open to the side of the mat. And we're not going to come all the way up. We're going to bring the right forearm to the right thigh. Let's take the left hand and find the outer left hip. So the palm of the left hand comes here, and we're just going to slide it away, scoop the right hip under. Outer foot, we want to think about that section cut to the left foot. Let's take our left hand, and we're going to reach. I'm going to reach straight to you. Maybe you're going to reach towards me. That's awesome. Bend the elbow, keep the thumb nice and soft, and then draw it into the body with the elbow bent. Almost like kind of marionette, doll arms. Sorry, men, for watching. You guys get what I'm saying. On the inhale, we'll slowly straighten the right leg. Thumb stays soft. Back of the head lines up with the tailbone. Toes unclench. Breathe the spine long. So you feel this out of your outer hip. That's exactly right. We'll flow that. Let's find something different. Belly relaxes. We're going to collapse here through the belly, through the chest, the shoulders, the head. Feel the spine surrender to the earth. Now inhale, opening up. Again, finding that sense of strength here. Thumbs, though, stay relaxed. Jaws stay relaxed. Exhale, flowing. Left hand comes down. Maybe scooping underneath the leg, bending the right knee. One more time, big inhale. Exhale, let's go ahead and come up into warrior two. Fix my shirt here. I'm getting wardrobe malfunction. And we're on our surfboard once again. You may want to kick this left heel out just a little bit more if you're feeling this on your inner knee, right? Making sure we stay safe. Usually people scooch forward. Notice my shoulders moving forward, maybe pulling back a little bit. So we stack our shoulders here. And again, thumbs nice and relaxed. Let's go ahead and turn the right palm up. Left hand is going to come down. And we're going to reach into our reverse warrior. Again, that same feeling, breathing the whole right side. Option for fun, take the left hand to the right wrist. You guessed it. Maybe straighten through the right leg just for a second, keeping that lifted feeling, then rebend. Pressing the right knee to the pinky toe. Beautiful. Nice. I know you guys are doing it great. One more big breath. Inhale. Exhale, slowly coming through warrior two. Press heavy air down. Now we slide forward, keeping the right knee bent. Right hand, left arm either overhead or straight out or overhead. Pinky side rotates. Breathe from the outer foot to the fingertips. But scoop the right hip crease in. Keep the neck relaxed. Face nice and soft. One more big breath here. Exhaling, we're going to slowly walk the hands to the center of the legs, right? Keeping this simple here, turning the feet parallel. Maybe adjust the distance, right? You should be able to reach your fingertips to the outer feet. That's about as far as we want to go. Protecting the knees, making sure we're slightly pigeon toed. And one more time, head heavy, rocking forward and back. Making sure we can turn the head side to side. Toes relaxed. We'll stay slightly shifted forward. Feel the sits bones lift up and apart. And the torso could dangle really heavy here, right? You could sway it if you wanted to. So no rigidity in the spine. Just feel the contents, right, of our cranium pour out. Just let it go. All those worries and concerns, the what if, the catastrophizing. I'm really good at that, by the way. If you want some kind of expert advice on picking out the worst case scenario, I'm your girl. Just give me a call. Inhale, breathing halfway up. Exhale one more time, forward fold. Maybe more actively, you can find the outer feet, of course, or you could come back and say, nope, I don't want to do that. You could put your head on our block. Just make sure we're shifting a little more forward. And then bringing awareness to the backs of the thighs. Just breathing them nice and open. Again, there's an awareness there. We don't want to force that. We want to find that release through the breath. Let the exhale be longer. The hamstrings will be longer. And then slowly lifting halfway up. This time we're going to turn the heels in, toes to the corners of the mat, comfortable distance. Walking the hands up to the thighs. Again, hanging out here. Just take that gentle twist side to side. Checking in, the belly stays nice and relaxed. Toes stay light. And then inhale, 5-pointed start. Taking up a lot of space. Exhale, slowly coming back down into our sunflowers, right? So the knees open, the squat, very important for all of us to do. We want to find out buoyancies, right? So this internal system through the spine, the psoas on either side, the inner thighs. Think of it like your suspension system in your car. Yeah, so I'm bouncing for a reason. Because when it's rigid, what do? You feel every bump, right? Like when your suspension's shot, that is not a fun car ride. We want to have a smooth suspension system. Toes nice and light. One more time, big breath. Inhale, feel the back body strong. All that energy through the back body. Exhaling one more time, coming into our sunflower pose. Right, thumbs nice and relaxed. Feel your biceps. Inhale, chest expansion here. Exhaling slowly, we're going to come forward. Feet turn parallel again. Hip hinge, long spine, forward fold. Now we're just going to come over to the other side. So walking our hands over to our left foot. We're going to turn our right foot parallel. Actually, you know what? We're going to come into our crescent lunge. Forgot we got a whole other side to do. Left foot to the right, downward facing dog. We'll just pedal this out. So this is live, folks. Actually, it's not, it's recorded. But I'm not restarting this. So you get all those outtakes. Those are fun to do. And again, let's rock side to side heavy. Can you feel the left and the right sway heavy? Right, just like a heavy wooden rocking chair feeling. So letting go of any tension in the jaws, the neck, the hips. And then we'll just stay over heavy to the right foot. Hopefully that's the other side. I'm in trouble. Left foot on weights. Roll the ankle around, point flex the foot. And again, same thing, that little bit of a bounce, making sure we're not too rigid. Hands stay grounded, knuckles especially. And then heavy, something heavy overhead. Right, the scorpion dog kind of pose here. Remember, opportunity to practice calm strength. Slowly coming forward. Exhale, scoop the belly. How light can you make yourself with gravity? Gravity is another tool. We can change our relationship with gravity. Inhale, let's come back, left leg straight. Left heel nice and long, shift more weight to the legs. Imagine me pulling your heel back. Exhaling, left knee comes in. Again, calm strength. Now left foot comes between the legs, right foot parallel. Coming up, warrior two, and we're gonna pause. Now, we're gonna do the other side. Sometimes I kind of mix things up. I want you to notice, right, that our feet are grounded the whole time in this posture. So I see a lot of people when they're moving kind of rigidly all around like this, but they're kind of posing everywhere. We want to think about this as an opportunity to find a little bit of that, matrix flow, where we live in a matrix moment now, right? Altered reality. We got to be able to flex and flow even ways, but notice the legs stay strong, and that gives some flexibility, some motion that's movable, or I should say flexible in the spine and then the neck. But if we're moving from here, we're moving mechanistically, robot-like. That is the old way. Creative patterns in the universe never move like this. New galaxies don't, move in a box. They don't come out like a box and here you go. It's like, wow, it's in all directions. So we're gonna find that from here up. The legs though, really strong. So let's go ahead and take the left arm. And then we're gonna come down, let's reach out with the right hand. Scoop the left hip crease, we don't wanna rest into it. Usually women, we're pretty good at that, we don't wanna do that. Outer foot, draw in to this right leg. So there's two directions of movement. Let's reach out and let's flow. Inhaling, maybe straightening the left leg. You don't have to, it could stay bent. If you feel the C underneath, that's never good. Exhaling, slowly coming down, thumbs, shoulders, everything stays relaxed. Inhale, from the legs and the feet. Remember, back of the head lines up with the tailbone. Exhale, slowly, let everything relax and collapse. Inhale, find the opposite expression. Opening up, expansion. One more time, exhaling. Inhaling, let's come to warrior two. Remember, this is where we're gonna pause. Shay's gonna fix her shirt. Very cool. And then finding that even feeling front and back. So right in the center. That's balance, right? We're trying to find balance in our lives. And homeostasis. That's a bigger middle path. Not living at the edges, but right in the center. Notice how you can go any direction this way, right? Let's go ahead and turn the shoulders down, opening them up, palms stay relaxed, coming into reverse warrior. Option, find the right hand to the left wrist as we straighten through the front leg. Big toe all the way up through the hip crease, through the inner thigh, up through the spine, through the back of the shoulder, the jaw. Nice and long. Staying lifted through the low back. Exhale as we press heavy air down, as we bend the left knee open to the baby toe. Again, thumbs stay soft. Now we reach long, right, that sliding approach. Right arm either straight or overhead. Without this, right by the shoulder, or I should say shoulder by the ear, down the back. Pinky sides rotated. Feel this whole right side grow longer as we keep the left hip crease scooped in. Nice calm thoughts here. Can you smile? That would be awesome. I'm smiling just if you're doing this with me. Thank you. Drop me a note. Exhale, let's go ahead and release. Hands are gonna come down, and we're just gonna head and bring the hands right to the center one more time. We're gonna reach out long with the left hand over to the right leg. And just again, allow the spine to melt towards the right shin, the right knee. Allow the breath to find the spine on the left side. Allow the cheekbones to melt and the eyes to relax. And slowly releasing through center. Feel the spine move through center. And then right hand reaches long to the outer left leg. And then gently pulling down. And releasing back through center. Let's bring one knee to the ground and then the other. If you have a block for camel pose, really like to use it. Creates that sense of strength through the low back that we want. So there's a hinge right in your low back, and anybody could kind of dump into it. That's not a magic trick that we want to practice, right? That's one, if we need it, it's there. It protects us in dangerous situations, but we're not trying to find that. We've got to find that strength, right? So suspenders pose, right? We take our thumbs into our armpits. I know there's some people that actually hurts them. If you have arthritis like in your thumbs, bring your hands together, press your sternum into your thumbs. That's the other option. As we squeeze the block, right, that's going to keep us from dumping into our sacrum and our low back. So suspenders, let's lift. You can feel the whole rib cage lift up. Keeping the chin tucked in, relax to the back of the neck. Use the breath, that sort of escalator approach to the upper back. As we stay strong to that mid back where the hinge is, we're not going to drop into it. Keep squeezing the block. Pressing it back, smiling the heart towards the sky. Highly encouraged when you can practice outside. Completely different experience. And then slowly we're going to sit the hips back onto the block, which is nice because we have it. I'll turn the face you. And just let the spine relax more here. So take the left hand, palm on top, or right palm on top of the left, thumbs relax together. And then we're going to collapse. Let your spine slump. Yes, I said slump. I want you to slouch. Neck relax. Giving the spine a moment to calm down. And then slowly find that nice tall spine. Shoulders are going to come by the ears and down. Let's drop one ear to one shoulder, melting the other side. You want to add in a little vagus nerve exercise. The eyes tend to, when you get locked on target, hypervigilant. I see it a lot with PTSD. The eyes and the head become one entity, right? Locked on target, it makes sense. So let's see if we can unlock the eyes. We're going to move the eyes up that way for me. So the opposite corner of where we're dropping under the shoulder. If you feel a little dizzy, don't move the eyeballs as far, or maybe just don't do it, right? Just let the shoulder or ear drop by the shoulder, and then move the eyeballs back to center first, and then the head back into alignment. Take a nice deep breath. Let the shoulders relax. Other side. Again, using the breath. The head's pretty heavy here. We don't have to do much more than that. You can move the eyeballs the opposite direction again if you want to try this side. There are a lot of simple tricks to activate the vagus nerve. There is a ventral vagal line through the face. Think venting through the face. Turn the eyeballs back to center, head back. And so the upper line is what we don't focus on. We think of the vagus nerve is in the gut, of course, but we think of the legs as our sympathetic, but we forget there's this upper thing that we do, like the sympathetic nervous system in the shoulders and the jaws. And so we've got to learn to activate this ventral vagal line in the face, which is our social engagement, and that also turns on parasympathetic, which is why a lot of us are unsympathetic because we're not getting to do this with each other, which is why I'm doing a video, and I'm so uncomfortable doing it, but I need to talk to you guys. I miss you. This is my medicine. I love you. I miss all my students out there. Mwah. Okay, let's go ahead and come onto our backs. We're going to swing our legs around. This is how we get down yoga fit. This is a good thing to practice, right? Over and over again. Let's bring one forearm down. Use the other leg as a counterbalance to slowly lower us down. We'll hug the right knee in. Again, nice big breath here. Let the shoulders relax. That probably feels super good. We'll take the right ankle across the left thigh. Let's take the right hand to the inner right thigh, just pressing it away. Again, breathing the inner hip crease, relax. That's a very tender area for all of us. We don't want to force that. Feel free to stay here. You can even rock across the sacrum. Again, calms the nervous system. Or lift the left leg up. You go around the thigh, the shin, keeping the right foot active. So now we shift awareness to the outer right hip. It's a bigger area. And notice it's not as aware, right? If you got a paper cut in your butt, you wouldn't even notice it. I wouldn't notice that at all forever, right? Paper cut in your hand, that's a different story. So that's an area we usually try to force that. See if we could stay a little bit out of that forcing. Just allow it to find its own ease without trying to seek out sensation there. It's kind of my big new thing is we seek sensation when really we should be seeking just space and awareness. And then slowly releasing into any kind of twist. Arms out to the side, hips up and over so we can wrap the right leg over the left because we have a block today. One option is doing this Turkish twist legs and then you wedge the block underneath the left thigh. Just make sure the shoulders are relaxed down. Now, if that is too much for you, and it could be, left leg can be straight, of course. We can just come onto the outer left hip, bring the knee across, so your choice. In both postures, whichever posture we're doing, the focus is on now the outer hip. Now we get energetically congested there when we're tense, when we're stressed, right? It makes sense. If the hip flexors pulling tight into the pelvic floor to mobilize us for defense, any kind of patterns of defense that we're used to doing, fight, flight, freeze, well then energetically we pull in really tight to the sides of the hips. So finding space here through the outer right hip, using the breath. And slowly unwinding. We're going to unwind the legs. Let's go ahead and move the hips back into neutral. Left knee hugs in. I'm going to move my block over to the side. And you can kind of stay here for a minute. Again, just feel this left side really melt heavy into the mat. Left hip, left low back, left shoulder. And then we're going to go ahead and take the right ankle across with the left palm to the inner left thigh, gently pressing it away, pressing the left knee away. And you might want to play with just rocking across the sacrum. Option to come into our figure 4 stretch either around the thighs or around the shin. You can let this right leg dangle. Again, now we shift awareness to the outer hip. As we continue to find our breath. And then slowly releasing into any kind of twist. Again, option to wrap the legs. You may want to still move the hips over to the side, bringing the block here. I'll turn so I can face you guys. And so, as we explore the side body on the left side, again, we're seeking out awareness. And awareness is the cure. I say that over and over again. Awareness is what we're trying to activate more in yoga. Where the medicine happens, or where we get the most medicine is when we can increase awareness. If we're moving in those old patterns, that's very limited awareness, right? There's a trickle, and that's a good place to start. That's certainly where I started many years ago. But now it's like awareness is just got such a hold on me. Like if I'm not in awareness, it just feels weird. And so I'm like, all right, shift to awareness. Awareness has an ease about it. It has the ability to be calmly aware of what's happening without necessarily reacting to it. I can't say I'm great at that, especially the last couple of weeks. This is my practice. And then again, coming back through center, just hugging the knees into the chest. Maybe rocking on either side of the spine. If you want to take a bridge pose real quick, you could even take a restorative bridge, bringing the block into the sacrum. Hands to the sides of the belly, right? Thumbs to the rib cage, pinky fingers to the hip bones. You could also do this with just your back flat. Make sure the neck is clear. And now let's find jellyfish breathing. So again, moving into the belly, drop into the awareness of the belly. So I talked about the ventral vagal line in the face. Well, the oldest vagus nerve, the 10th cranial nerve, usually when you hear about the vagus nerve, we talk about the one in the belly, right? And so it innervates pretty much everything in your gut, lower heart, lower lungs, everything in the intestines, psoas, tons of information in the psoas. And it is an intelligent system, right? It's our Wi-Fi. And most of that information flows from the belly up to the mind. 90%, it's probably 75 to 90%. So think about that. That is the root system of the mind. And that's why we say your gut health determines your mental health. So we turn to these waters. Let's find a deeper sense of connection there. Deeper waters, right? Dropping out of our heads, getting into our bellies. Jellyfish breathing is a beautiful imagery for me. It may not work for you, but I just love that sense of softening, especially to the sides of the belly. The sides of the belly. Just feel that beautiful flow there, that billowy feeling through the sides of the belly. And then when you're ready, you can stay there for a while, by the way, because we're going into shavasana. So you could turn off your video now and say, I'm going to sleep for a while. Do a